everyone at ICKL. I'm Charlotte Wile, and it's August 3rd, and I'm at the Dance Notation Bureau. And yesterday we tried to Skype you, but the technology didn't work, so we weren't able to hear what you were saying at the conference. So in anticipation of tomorrow, when I'm scheduled to make my presentation to you about my paper, we thought it might be a good idea to make this video as a backup, and just in case the technology doesn't work again. My paper is about indications which were developed for motif notation to show the location of the body as a whole in the vertical dimension. So for example, I could be low, or I could be high. Now, when I was teaching dance to children and adults, these ideas were very important and a big part of my curriculum, whether you're down low or middle or up high. However, when I would use motif notation in the classes, I didn't feel that I had good enough symbols to express those concepts. And I tried different indications, both from what has been established in LN and lava notation and in motif notation. For example, one idea that I tried to use was the symbols that show where the center of gravity is in relation to the supports. But these symbols didn't work. For example, consider a position in which you are sitting. Then the symbol that would be used to show that would be the center of gravity is middle. But that is very confusing, because we were saying that when you're sitting, you're low. But the symbol says that you're middle. So clearly it didn't work. And the other idea, which was a subtle distinction, but still adults, maybe the children didn't find it problematic, but adults can, and that is that we were thinking about where the body as a whole is located, but the symbol is just talking about the center of gravity in relationship to supports. Then another idea that I thought about and tried to use was the symbol for the whole body, which those of you in lava notation may not be familiar with, but this is the whole body symbol that's used in motif notation, and a direction sign. But this too was problematic because the symbol can then have different meanings. As I see it, it could be interpreted as the body being high, or it might also be interpreted as the body being expressing upward while it's in a low position. So again, you're giving this indication different meanings, which is always very confusing and not a good idea. Let's take another example. Here we have the whole body is low. I mean, the whole body, right, is low. But this could also be interpreted as the whole body is expressing a low direction. For example, it could mean, again, that the whole body is low, so forth and so on. Or it could mean that the body as a whole is expressing a low direction. Just like my whole body is expressing a forwardness, my whole body is expressing a left sideness, but now my whole body is expressing a downward. So again, we've given this symbol, this indication, different meanings, causing confusion. So I talked with Ray Cook about this, and we played around with different ideas for solving the problem, and some of them we discussed on the theory bulletin board. And then we also met with our colleagues at the Dance Notation Bureau in theory meetings, and we came up with a solution that everybody seems to feel work, and this is what I presented in my paper. It's based on the idea of determining where the body is located in the vertical dimension in relationship to the body, to the mover's body when it's in an upright position. So you can see that we've divided the body when it's upright into different zones, to 6 different zones. And those zones are created by drawing horizontal lines across the body. So for example, if you, here's the lowest zone, and the floor is the bottom of the zone, and a line drawn at the mover's shins would be the top of the zone. And when the body is in this space, i.e., for example, lying down, then it would be in a very low position. Or let's say that the zone that is at the top of the head, that has a line drawn at the top of the head, and the floor is the bottom of the zone. This space, if the body occupies this space, then it's in a middle position. So let me show you with my body. So for example, again, here I am, my body, and I'm envisioning these lines, and I am envisioning there are 6 different zones, and if there's a line over here that's the top of the zone, and then here's the floor is the bottom, and I'm occupying that space, then, or most of my body is in that space, in different ways, then I'm in a very low position. Or let's say I have the line here. This is the top of the zone, and the floor is the bottom of the zone, and my body is in that space, right? Or here, or here. Then I am in a low position. Or if it's at the top of the zone is at my head, then I'm in, and the bottom is at the floor, then I'm in, I don't know, a middle place. And then if the line is drawn up here, then I'm in a high position. Or if the line is the bottom of the bottom line is at my hands, where my hands would be when they're reaching up, and then going up beyond that would be the top of the zone. Let's say I'm climbed up on here, then I'm in a very high zone. So that was the idea, and then we needed to come up with terminology for the different zones. And at first we started talking about different levels, but that didn't work because the word levels is used in other ways, of course, in both LN and in motif notation. So it became confusing. So searching around for different terms, we came up with the idea of altitudes, and that seemed the best term. So you could be on a very low altitude, or a middle altitude, or a high altitude, and so forth. And then, of course, most importantly, we needed to have some symbols, some indications for the different altitudes. And Anne Guest, as usual, came up with the brilliant idea, thank you so much, Anne, of using the sign, the rectangle sign, which of course means a vertical dimension, and then putting measurement signs inside. So this says a very low altitude, a low altitude, slightly low altitude, and so forth. And the top symbol contains a sign, a measurement sign that I created to indicate the idea of an unspecified or any altitude. Now here's some examples also that are in my paper of the altitudes and different positions that you could be with them. Lying on the ground for very low. Here the line is at the waist, so it's low, and so forth. Now at the end of my paper, I ask some different questions which I thought might be good jumping off points for discussing the paper. And one of the questions